There was a Saturday night where me and my friends went out and we had a good time. And I've got gyno. I've naturally had gyno. I've had gyno since I was really young. I could always remember it in my early teens. I've always had gyno. And someone points it out. So we start touching it, flicking it as a joke, and then we start fighting as a joke or whatever. And we're just having a body spar or whatever. And I remember being slightly self-conscious about it at that time because I've leaned down and I was kind of ripped at that time, and I thought, oh, but you can still see that, you're still pointing out the negative. And this person didn't even mean to, it's just a joke, but my head was going to the negative at that point, at that time. And then I went out and I was able to get a girl that I thought was out of my league, 100% out of my league. Like, we're talking like really, really attractive, really pretty. That was a beautiful thing for me that night. And it just showed me that I was viewing myself in a negative light because of that, because I wasn't 100% as ripped as I wanted to be. And I haven't got so ripped to the point where I'm able to completely get rid of that one flaw that I can't even get rid of anyway because you need surgery. I was caught up in that and almost viewing myself from that negative light because of that. And then I was able to get something that I couldn't believe I was able to get. And the message is going to be, your body isn't as bad as you think it is. So let's say you look in the mirror, you point out all your flaws, you point out all the negatives, you point out everything wrong with you, literally everything wrong with you. You point out, oh, this thing's wrong with me, or I'm not as lean as this guy. And you go on social media, even on YouTube, you go on YouTube and you see guys in a physique that you can't believe is possible. And there's so many that isn't natural, and I'm starting to understand this truly now. There's so many that isn't actually natural, and you think they're natural because they say they are. To be fair, if you're making millions off of it and they've hopped on a cycle and they've always looked like that somewhat when they've been online, and you can't see the difference too much because they're showing certain photos and they're literally packaging it in a way and they blow up quick, they want to make money out of that. And of course they're going to run with that narrative as long as they can until they get caught. And what happens is, though, you start viewing yourself in a negative place, a terrible position, and you start hurting yourself and thinking, am I even good enough? Is my body even good enough? Am I even attractive enough? Am I even doing well in my physique, in my body? Because this guy saying he's natural, in about 2 years, he's achieved 10 times my progress, and he's leaner and he's ripped. And it's like, it's not even possible, really, you know? And you just need to be very smart with this stuff when you view it. And the issue is, we're very emotional. We're very emotional creatures. And what happens is we view ourselves in a way that is always negative. We always kind of look at the negatives in our body. So let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. I could look in the mirror when I wake up, see my physique and think I look incredible. And I have that a lot of times. I think I look incredible. I think I look amazing. And then what will happen is, go on my phone, go on YouTube, whatever, scroll, look at some videos or whatever, let's say throughout the day. And then I look at my photo and think, oh, I didn't look as good as that guy. I didn't look as good as him. And then you start viewing yourself as negative, and it's terrible. That's a negative thing, man. That's terrible, because you could be making insane progress in your body, in your physique. You could be making unbelievable progress. We're talking like progress that's unbelievable for you, changing your confidence, changing you as a person. But because you see people online and you're comparing yourself to them that are most likely more time over not natural, or they have unbelievable genetics, and then we're not even taking into account lifestyle as well. Let's say you got to work a job most of the week. How are you going to train to the same capacity, the same intensity as the guy who isn't? You're not going to be able to. How are you going to be as strict on your diet as the guy who isn't, who's living in Spain, who's living in a sunny country, who's getting loads of vitamin D, so they got a tan, their testosterone's up? How are you going to? And then you also bear in mind they may be taking steroids as well. How are you going to compete with these people? Like, for example, you rarely ever see people who look like these guys online. And I'm in the sauna and the gym all that often. I rarely ever see people. And even when they're sauced up, they didn't look like these people. And that's a crazy thing to think. That is a crazy thing to think. And it's almost like, I'll go to a place like that, I will be holding more muscle than most people there. Like, pretty much everyone, most times. There'll be other times where, of course, you get some fucking freak, or you get someone who's actually got really good genetics, been at it a long time, and they look good. But more time over, I'm holding more muscle than them. So then I start thinking, what, am I really that bad? Am I really that bad? Obviously not. And this is the thing, it's a battle when you start getting in shape and building muscle and with your self-image, with how you view yourself, with body dysmorphia. It's a very big battle that a lot of us don't talk about truly because we're afraid. We're afraid. This is a way to put it. That's bad. That's sad. This is basically an insecurity. It's an insecurity that we don't want to admit. But at the end of the day, you will have insecurities, and something like this is so personal to you. Like, even if you put on a bit of fat, you view yourself slightly different. And what I've been able to do is get around to a point where I don't view myself anywhere near like that now, and I don't put too much emphasis on how I look as much as I used to. I used to put every emphasis on it. I would have to be lean, I would have to be ripped, I would have to be very lean in order to feel like I'm confident and grateful and happy in myself. But what kind of life is that, where you base everything off of your appearance and you base everything off of your body fat percentage? What kind of life is that? In the digital age we're in, everything starts getting a bit more screwed. Our vision of ourselves, how we view ourselves, screwed. You got your online profile now that matters more than your than how you are as a person nowadays, and it's just a crazy life now. But at the end of the day, if you view yourself and compare yourself constantly to these people, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy. There's a reason why these people are at the top of the social media game. There's a reason. It's their physiques are unbelievable. They're top 1% or whatever they call it, top 0.1%, whatever these YouTubers say about it. They're top percentage. And you can't compete really with normal genetics, and you can't compete really if you don't have the same circumstances as them people. For example, that's their job. That's all they do. That's literally all they do. Of course they're going to be in amazing shape. You combine good genetics with having full time to dedicate to it, that being their business. Of course they're going to do what they can. And of course, a lot of them mix in steroids, 100%. There's some of them where you're like, actually, you're claiming natural. How the fuck are you natural? How the fuck are you natural? Look at the fullness in their muscles. Look how lean they are. And then look at their weight. They're weighing a lot, and they're still ripped. And their muscles look insanely full. They're obviously not natural. And it's one of these things that people don't even perceive and don't even think of already, that these people aren't natural. Granted, you will get some who are natural. I'm not saying everyone's unnatural. But then also then people who are at the top of that have the best genetics. So what we need to understand is we need to compare ourselves to our past us. And this is going to be the true message. When you start looking at these people online, this is what I want you lot to do if you're starting to feel a bit insecure. Look at the past you. So go back to the start of your fitness journey. Go back to a few months ago when you were bulked, completely bulked, and now you're ripped. Go back to that and start comparing yourself to you. Stop comparing yourself to these people. Compare yourself to the past you. That's what truly matters. Your genetics are your genetics. Your life is your life. Your life's different to other people's. So you can't really, truly compare yourself to these other people's. For example, I want to talk about steroids. I know people who have taken steroids. I know people, and funnily enough, hear this. This is me not being egotistical and all this. I've got more muscle on them. I've got more muscle on them because they didn't have the discipline that they needed to. I know a person who took SARMs. I had more muscle than him. He was more ripped than me, but he was a lot older than me as well. So I had a bit more muscle, a bit more filler, looked a bit more thicker, stronger. There was another guy, he was fat, out of shape. He took it when he was younger. And he said it was the worst thing he could have done. He was just ravenous, wanted to hurt everyone, wanted to attack people. There's another 2 people I know, and one of them I'm way bigger than, way more muscular, got a better physique naturally than. And there's another person who's bigger than me in regards to a weight-wise, but muscle-wise, muscle insertions, and how my muscle looks, it's not even close. So you need to think, you're only seeing these people online that are on different levels to you, or on unbelievable levels. Even in everyday life, people who take steroids don't even look how they want to look. So when we're thinking from a real perspective, that's a crazy thing. And this is not for me to be egotistical or whatever, this is literally the facts of it. When you're consistent over time, you compare yourself to you will achieve results that you're proud of and happy of. And that's the main thing. You're not going to look like this big steadhead bodybuilder like a lot of these guys do. You're not going to. But what you are going to do is build a nice, strong, natural physique that's suited for you. Compare yourself to you. Don't compare yourself to other people. And at the end of the day, only compare yourself to other people if you're better than them. That's what I do. No, I'm joking, but on a real level, compare yourself to yourself and look at yourself from the past and think, how have I made this progress? Do I look a lot better? Do I look a lot stronger? Do I look a lot more confident? And that's going to be the true message in this video. Hope you lot got a lot of value. If you want to achieve a physique that you're proud of, happy of, grateful with, like you wake up every morning, you look in the mirror and you're actually like, actually, I look good. I'm looking better. I'm actually proud of myself. Shoot me an email at reallouis23@gmail.com. Thank you.